Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Spirit Life. Today I got a brand new knife. As you all know, the one that I've been carrying around is overkill. Way too much for what we need it for. I am going to keep it, obviously. It's useful for splitting firewood and that sort of thing. But what I have today is I have a brand new one that I just got. This was recommended by a viewer, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This is by BPS Knives, and they are a Ukrainian-based company, a small business, and all of their knives are handmade. This is not a paid promotion. Definitely don't have any sponsors with as little as this channel is, but made in Ukraine. So, you know, everybody knows what's going on there. So I figured it would be a worthy investment. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and pop it open and just kind of see what we got today. Now this knife was actually very reasonable. I think it was under the 30s, it's about $34 if I remember right. So I figured that was actually a good deal, and it felt in the range of budget bushcraft gear, which is really what I'm interested in. So yeah, right out of the box, I love it. Oh wow, real nice leather case. I did know that it had this when I bought it, and the reason I went with this one is because I think in a pinch you could probably use this leather sheath as a strope. I can't talk. So all right, and it also comes with a ferrocerium rod. All right. I like the fact that it's not wrapped in a ton of plastic. Still plastic, but this will degrade pretty quickly. Okay. Interesting. They have their own custom, looks like a napkin. Not sure what it is. Oh, it's a bag. Oh, nice. Okay. It's actually a little cloth for, I assume, whatever you want it to be for, really. It's real thin, kind of a napkin feel to it. All right, let's take this bad boy open. Okay, right out of the bat, it feels really good, really good. You know, I did a lot of research on it before I actually bought it. Had great reviews, I bet I know what this is for. So it is coated in oil, obviously, to prevent it from rusting during shipment and whatnot. Very good idea. Okay, that, boys and girls, is what an asshole sounds like. Yeah, I live near the city. Great. So yeah, first impressions. Nice thick blade. It's, you know, it's about I'd say 1/8 of an inch in thickness at the back of it. You can tell just by looking at this blade, it's very sharp. There's no doubt in my mind that is very, very sharp. Again, handcrafted, and the blade goes all the way through the tang, which I really like. That gives this knife a lot more life. So, see what it does with the cardboard sheath that came with it. Oh yeah, that is sharp. Look at that. Look at that. It just shaves that right off of there. Yeah, that is a sharp knife. All right, very cool. Very impressed with that. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to try to get a good little fire going. Just something fun to do today. Again, it's really wet here in northern Indiana, where I live, and we had some snow earlier. It's mostly melted now. I don't think we're really going to get any good snow this year, which is really kind of disappointing because I was really looking forward to getting out and going on a good winter camp. But nonetheless, we're going to make the best of it. All right. So yeah, there you have it. I've already got the sheath all dirty from the oil. I'm sure that's going to happen. Oh, that's cool. It's actually got a little slot for the ferrule rod. Nice. That will be handy for me because I know that I would lose it. I know a lot of people give other YouTubers grief that have lost their rods because they didn't put it in their pocket or whatever. Trust me, when you're out in a survival situation or somewhere like that, it is very easy to lose track of it. So after constant interruptions from the noise of the city and a noisy neighborhood and kids getting off the school buses and all that, I decided that a proper test of all my equipment and my skills would be to actually get out in the forest and try them out. So I am currently in Manistee National Forest in Michigan. It's pretty far north for me. I have never camped this far north. So this is a couple of firsts. Oh, I love these. This brings back so many memories of when I did my hike on the Appalachian Trail. Oh, I love, love, love doing this. Okay, I think this is home for tonight. Oh, well, that's just terrific. Of course, as luck would have it, the minute I try to set this tripod up, I break it. So a piece right here that goes up and holds this on broke off. That's what I get for going a little bit too cheap on some things. But I found a way to finagle it together. Hey, that's kind of what the spirit of survival is all about, huh? All right, let's see if we can at least get this sucker mounted. Because not doing a video kind of defeats the whole purpose of coming out here, other than I needed to get away for a little while. Oh. All right. Tell a two-spirit girl she can't do something and watch her prove you wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna have to move fast. I'm losing light really quick. Sunset's just a little after 5, and it's about a quarter after 4 o'clock right now. This is a first for me. I have never done a solo camp as myself. If any of you have watched any of my previous 3 videos, you know I don't talk a lot about being transgender, but I've done lots of overnights, I've done lots of camping, I've done lots of winter camping, but I've never done a solo trip as a female in the winter in a national forest. So, and I've never set up a shelter. It's like kind of like an ad hoc shelter using tarps. So I have brought backups. I brought contingency plans in case things don't work out the way I'd like them to. I have a tent that I brought with me. I have an extra sleeping bag. I have a wool blanket. I have alternate ways of starting a fire. I'm only a couple of miles away from where I have my car parked. So, you know, worst case scenario, I'm dressed very, very warmly. I'm not going to freeze. I've got plenty of food with me. My pack is probably about 60 pounds. So plenty of water, all that good stuff. But I just kind of wanted to do this to push myself, just to see if I could do it. On top of the fact that I really, really need some time alone with just myself to get away and just connect with nature. So, all right, before we lose any more sunlight, let's get on with it. Apparently there's no escaping the assholes out here either. Okay, it's starting to get dark, and I really want to get a fire going before it does. And I'll see how the shelter feels. It's very basic. First time. Get a fire going, warm up a little bit. I'm getting a little cold. And yeah. I don't know how well that's going to burn. That's a little punky. I would like to say it's fat wood, but that doesn't really look like fat wood. Yeah, it feels a little wet. Nuts. All right, folks. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit of a challenge keeping this fire going. Obviously I need to work on my technique, so I'm probably blinding the camera here. So obviously I need to work on properly identifying dead wood. Now here in the US, I know it's probably different in other countries, but here in the US in the National Forest, you are not allowed to cut dead standing wood. You are only allowed to collect and use dead down wood. And there's various reasons that I won't go into. So I have to find trees that are freshly down or that are sheltered from the elements some way or another, so they're not real wet. That's a real problem here in the northern hemisphere. I'm right now up in Michigan, and it's obviously very snowy. The temperatures go up and down here in this region. They can fluctuate 30 degrees within 24 hours. So right now it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge keeping this going. It's going now. It's nice and warm. I'm comfortable. I kind of sat in my shelter for a minute, and I'm going to stay nice and warm in there. That's not going to be a problem as long as I can maintain this fire. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get some supper. Even in the National Forest, you can't get away from the assholes. I guess I need to go further out. So this is another first. I stopped eating meat probably 5 years ago, and mostly was what I'd call a pescatarian. I'd only eat fish or seafood. But over the last couple of months, I've been slowly adding meat back into my diet. I've started with chicken and turkey. And the reason I stopped was because it just didn't do well in my stomach. That's gotten better, and so I'm slowly adding it back. I've lost quite a bit of weight. I've still got a lot more to go. But this is kind of a night of firsts. So here's to my first bite of steak in a very long time. Oh yeah. Wow. All right, so supper is done. I'm feeling good. I'm not too cold. It is, like I said, about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So, yeah, it's definitely very cold out. And I am going to crawl in my sleeping bag and my blanket and lay here for a little bit and see how long I last. I don't know if I will make it the entire night here. You know, I am close enough to my car that I could hike out in the dark if I had to. The trail is pretty easy to see even in the dark. So, all right. We'll talk to you when I turn the camera back on. All right, so it is 10 o'clock. I did doze off for, let me do this so you guys can see me better. Not that you really want to see me. So I did doze off for a couple hours. Fire just about went out, so I woke up and got it going again. Quite a few things that I realized I've done wrong, and I knew I would. I knew there would be things I'd be like, okay, that isn't going to work. One was not gathering enough firewood. I didn't get here early enough. My plan was to get here early in the morning and spend the better part of the day gathering firewood, you know, and making a good, proper, comfortable shelter. But as it would happen, that didn't happen. So, my bad. The shelter is okay, but it's not reflecting the heat like I would. I made it basically too high and too far back, I think. Yeah, but I was able to scout out close by and get a little bit more wood, and I got that on there, and I've got a small little stash over here that might help me make it a few more hours. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll make it the whole night or not. Like I said, my car is not that far away. I could easily hike out of here if I needed to, without worry about getting lost or hurt or anything. But I am going to crawl back in the sleeping bag and see what happens. All right, well, it is about 1:15 in the morning, and the temperature is up a little bit than what it was, but it's still really cold. It's 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about -9 Celsius for my friends up north. But my fire is just about out, and I think I'm gonna pack it in and head back to the car. So, but yeah, I think I've had enough for tonight. So I've been keeping this in my sleeping bag with me because the lion kept freezing. And just in this time that it's been out here and I've been packing up, it's already frozen again. Oh, I am so thankful for satellite remote start. My car should be nice and warm by the time I get into it. See, I had an extra sleeping bag, another sleeping bag, gas in case I get stranded, all kinds of good stuff. All right, I am back to the car and it feels good. That was amazing. I needed that. I needed just to get away. It wasn't as far out as I would have liked it to have been, but I am by no means a professional bushcrafter yet. There's still a lot of things that I need to learn and some skills that I need to finesse. But this was a good trial run and I'm very happy. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive back to my home. And being that it is, what is it? Almost 2:30 in the morning. I'm going to drive for a little bit and see how I feel, but I might end up getting a room for the night. But yeah, I needed this. really want to thank you all for watching and kind of following along. A couple of things that I did want to point out real quick before I leave here. Rules and regulations, and I know this will probably come up. Number one, in the U.S., as of January 2022, you are not allowed to film in national parks and national forests without a permit if you are doing it for profit. My channel is not monetized. I don't get anything for it. I get no revenue from this. I don't have any sponsors. I'm just a small fry. So this was purely for entertainment and for me. So the rule does not apply. I eventually would like to go and do a camp out in all 156 of the U.S. National Forest. But that takes money and time, and I do have a full-time job. So who knows, if this channel ever goes anywhere and you feel the need to, or the desire to support me, that'd be great, but I'm not one of those that's going to beg for subscribers. That's just not my style. But I really do appreciate you following along regardless. Other things, I touched on it a little while ago. In the U.S. National Forest, you are not allowed to cut standing trees, be they alive or dead. The only firewood you are allowed to collect for personal use without a permit is down and dead. Now, there are some provisions in certain areas that you can get a fuel wood permit that allows you to cut wood in designated areas, and in a lot of cases it's when there has been a logging operation and the logging company has left behind tops that they're not going to use for lumber, and you are free to collect those, but it is your responsibility to check your local rules or the area that you're in to make sure that applies in what areas you can collect in. A couple of things just to touch on. In any of the U.S. National Forest, you are not allowed to camp, disperse camp, within 200 feet of a trail or a waterway, or within, I think, 400 feet of a designated camping ground, like a actual recreational campground, or any other private property or anything of that nature. So I try to be very careful about those. I do my best to practice leave no trace. Unfortunately, some of my wood back there was not completely consumed, but as you see, I dumped a bunch of water on it, covered it up with snow, made sure that it was out and cool to the touch so as not to have it reignite after I left. Scattered the ashes, again, checked to make sure that they were cool and out. I think that just about covers it. Just another thing is, when you're traveling and camping and hiking in the National Forest, be mindful of private property. The U.S. National Forest is littered with private property all throughout. So when you see the area on a map, say if you get on Google Maps and you see this big green blob that says so-and-so National Forest, that does not mean that everything within that region is free to use. There are many spots kind of sprinkled in throughout that are private property, and you can get a map from the U.S. Forest Service that has some details laid out to where those boundaries are. So definitely you want to be mindful of that, that you are not. I guess I could turn this off. Hopefully I didn't blind the camera. But yeah, be mindful of private property, and be mindful of the forest. Let's take care of it. You know, this is the only planet we have, and if we abuse these resources, they won't be there for us or for the future generations. So with all of that, I really want to thank you all for following along on this Two-Spirit life. We'll see you in the next video.